welcome back, folks! Aha! You are doing good progress! After this chapter, 2 more chapters left. So, as you know in this series, we are copying PM Body of Knowledge 6th edition. Without any delay, let's continue to Chapter 10, Project Communications Management.
Have you ever been part of like a group project at school? Maybe trying to organize a play or a science exhibition, and somehow things just went completely sideways.
Oh, definitely. It happens all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, like you thought you told your friends exactly what props were needed, but they showed up with costumes for a totally different play.
Or you were sure you explained your part, but your partner starts doing your bit instead of theirs. Classic.
Exactly. It's funny when it's small, but communication, even just chatting day to day, it feels simple, but man, it's surprisingly tricky.
It really is. We think we're being crystal clear, right? But the message gets twisted or, sometimes completely lost. Like that game of Chinese whispers, but with important stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now imagine that little mix-up, but blow it up, like massively. What if something like that happened in a huge project? Let's take organizing your school's biggest event of the year, the Grand Annual Cultural Festival.
Okay, yeah, big scale.
What if the dance troupe didn't get the right time for their performance? Or the stage crew misunderstood the safety instructions for the lighting rig? That could be dangerous.
Absolutely. Or the principal thought you promised a traditional drama, but the music club went ahead and planned a full-on rock concert.
Whoa, yeah. The fallout wouldn't just be a funny story later. It could mean major delays, total chaos, maybe even safety issues, like you said.
Precisely. In big projects, it's not just what you say. It's fundamentally about how it's delivered, how it's received, and critically, how it's understood by every single person involved.
The stakes get really high.
Incredibly high. You're juggling hundreds of people sometimes, tons of resources, a tight schedule, all aiming for this one big, ambitious goal. A single miscommunication. It can just unravel weeks, maybe months of hard work.
Wow. Okay, so that's why today we're doing a deep dive into something called Project Communications Management. Sounds a bit official, doesn't it?
It does sound a bit formal, yeah.
But really, it's all about making sure everyone involved in a big task or project talks to each other clearly, effectively, and crucially, at the right time.
It's basically the secret sauce. The thing that ensures nothing gets lost in translation, everyone knows what's going on, they're on the same page, and the whole thing actually finishes successfully.
Think of it like this. Good communication in a project. It's like having a superpower, seriously. It's the ability to connect everyone's minds, coordinate all the different efforts, and make sure everyone is pulling in the exact same direction. No misunderstandings.
And what's really interesting here, it's not just about being a good speaker or a good writer, it's more about building a solid system for communication.
A system? How so?
Well, it's about, first, strategizing. Who needs what information? When do they need it? How should they get it? Then you actively make sure that system is actually used. People have to follow the plan.
Okay, makes sense.
And finally, you have to check. Did the messages actually land? Did people understand them? It's this whole cycle designed to bring clarity even when things get really complex.
Right. So our mission today is to unpack the secrets of great project communication. We'll follow the journey of these smart project managers. Think of them as the team captains for these big projects.
Like the captain of the school festival committee.
Exactly. We'll see how they plan their talking, how they manage the flow of all that information, and then how they meticulously check if their messages are actually hitting the mark.
And we'll keep it simple, right? Lots of examples, especially using that grand annual school cultural festival idea to make it super clear and hopefully a bit fun too.
Definitely. And by the end of this deep dive, you won't just understand why effective talking is so critical in big projects.
You might actually pick up some really valuable tips. Things you can use right away to make your own communication better with your friends, your family, your teachers.
Yeah, because honestly, being able to communicate well, that's a life skill. It'll help you no matter what cool stuff you decide to do later on.
Couldn't agree more. It's fundamental.
Okay, so let's dig in. What exactly is project communications management? Laying the foundation here.
At its heart, it's pretty straightforward. It's about making sure everyone involved in the project gets the information they need.
Right. Info.
Precisely when they need it.
Break time.
And, importantly, in a way they can easily understand. It covers everything, really. From firing off a quick WhatsApp message about a rehearsal change for the festival,
Yeah,
to writing a formal report for the school board, or even giving a big presentation to parents about the festival's schedule and safety rules. It's the whole spectrum.
Okay. I like the cricket team analogy you mentioned earlier. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. Think about a really good cricket coach. They don't just shout, "Go play," right?
No way!
A great coach plans meticulously. Okay, you're batting at number 3. I want you positioned at silly point when this specific bowler comes on, and here's the secret signal if we need a quick single.
Right, all those details matter.
Exactly. That clear, precise, timely communication makes the whole team work like one single unit, all focused on winning. Project communications management does the exact same thing for a project team, whether it's building a bridge or organizing that school festival.
Okay, that really clicks. So it seems like there are 2 big parts to this.
That's right, 2 crucial sides of the coin. First, there's the strategy. This is like drawing up the detailed game plan for communication.
The how-to guide for talking.
Precisely. You sit down and really think through a smart way to communicate with everyone. You have to ask, who absolutely needs to know this specific piece of information? How often do they need updates daily, weekly, just once? And what's the best way to tell them so they actually get it and understand it? Email, meeting, notice board.
Okay, let's apply that to our school festival. What would a communication strategy look like?
Well, for the Grand Annual School Cultural Festival, the strategy might be something like this. Teachers involved in organizing, they get daily updates via email, especially for any urgent schedule changes.
Okay, daily for teachers.
Students who are actually performing, they get weekly updates, maybe through a dedicated WhatsApp group for their specific dance or drama act, and general announcements go up on the main school notice board.
Got it. Multiple channels for students.
And parents. They're key stakeholders, too. They might get a big formal circular once a month about ticket sales, the overall festival timings, maybe a special announcement about the chief guest, stuff like that.
So the strategy is all about deciding how the information flows and why it flows that way, tailored to each group.
Exactly. And then the second big part is carrying out the activities. This is basically playing the game according to your plan.
This is the doing part.
Yep. Actually doing the communicating you planned is sending out those specific emails to the teachers, holding the morning assembly to announce important updates for all students, putting up the final polished schedule on the school's digital display board, maybe even making direct phone calls to vendors supplying sound equipment or to special guests confirming their arrival time.
So it's not enough just to have a brilliant plan on paper.
Not at all. You have to execute it flawlessly. Make sure the messages aren't just sent out into the void, but are genuinely received, properly absorbed, and, most importantly, understood by the people who need them. The best strategy means nothing if it's not put into action effectively.
Right. Okay, so within this whole communication journey, you mentioned 3 key actions or processes, like steps project managers follow.
That's right. Think of them as the 3 big cyclical actions that make up effective communications management. And it is a cycle you're constantly refining, not just doing it once.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, we'll plan communications management, or planning how to talk. This is where you draw off that detailed blueprint for how everyone will communicate throughout the entire festival project.
So defining the rules of the game.
Exactly. Who needs to talk to whom? About what specific details and what channels, email meetings, calls. Think about planning a big family road trip, maybe driving from Delhi to Mumbai. Before you even start the car, you'd sit down and figure out who needs the detailed map or GPS route, who's in charge of packing snacks, and how will they let everyone know what's available. How will you talk between cars if you get separated in traffic, maybe using walkie-talkies or a shared location app on your phones.
Right. Planning prevents chaos on the road.
Precisely. It's all about outlining those communication needs clearly right at the start to minimize surprises and confusion later on.
Okay, so that's planning. What's the second process?
The second one is managed communications. This is putting the plan into action, the doing phase.
Like actually using the walkie-talkies on the road trip?
Exactly. During the road trip, it's using those walkie-talkies to coordinate bathroom breaks, actually sharing the snacks as planned, and updating everyone if there's a sudden traffic jam or an unexpected detour announced on the radio.
So for our school festival...
For the festival, it's collecting all the necessary information, like the final confirmed list of performers or the approved stage design diagrams. Then it's creating the messages, writing the emails, drafting the notices, sending them out through the right channels you decided on, storing them properly so you can find them later if someone says, "I never got that," and making absolutely sure they reach the right people. It's the active management of information flow.
Makes sense. Plan, then do. What's the third step?
The third and equally critical step is monitor communications. This is checking if it worked.
The feedback loop.
Exactly. Here, you step back and check if all that communication effort actually achieved its purpose. Did everyone really get the message about the revised festival schedule? Or did some performers still show up at the wrong time?
Uh-oh.
Did they understand it clearly? Are we all still on the same page, working towards the same goal? After our family road trip, you might sit down and ask, hey, did everyone enjoy the trip? Was the communication between the cars smooth? What could we have done better next time?
Learning for the future.
Absolutely. This constant monitoring and feedback helps you learn, adapt, and improve for the next project. It makes your next festival or your next road trip even smoother and more successful. It's about continuous improvement.
Okay, that 3-step cycle, plan, manage, monitor makes a lot of sense. Now, you also mentioned there are tons of different ways information gets exchanged. It's not just like talking or writing.
Oh, absolutely not. It's fascinatingly diverse. Communication can be written, right? Like a formal school circular about upcoming exam dates, or just a casual WhatsApp group chat with your friends, figuring out a movie plan for the weekend.
Yeah, different levels of formality there.
It can be spoken, obviously, face-to-face conversations, like when you go talk to your teacher after class to clarify something about the festival participation rules, or maybe a video call with your grandparents in another city to excitedly share updates about your performance.
And you mentioned formal versus informal before.
Yes, that's a big dimension. Think about the difference between the official, carefully worded annual report of your housing society detailing all the expenses and activities.
Very official.
Versus a quick, informal chat with your neighbor over the balcony about when the next society meeting might be. Same general topic, maybe, but totally different style, tone, and purpose.
Gotcha. But it goes beyond words, too, right?
Hugely beyond words. Gestures, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, they convey so much information, sometimes more than the words themselves.
Like a thumbs up or a frown?
Exactly. A simple nod from your friend when you ask if they understood your point. Or, your mom's very specific expression when you try to sneak an extra laddu before dinner. Those are powerful nonverbal cues.
Huh. Yeah, I know that look.
Even the media you choose matters. Using pictures or videos or just your careful choice of words can make a huge difference. A simple diagram you draw to explain your science project idea for the festival exhibition can often be way clearer than paragraphs of dense text.
Or the way a coach talks to the team.
Precisely. The specific, motivating words your cricket coach uses right before a big match can genuinely fire up the team and impact their performance. It's not just the information, it's the delivery.